Constantine is a great movie, and I really wish it wasn't. Because I want to be a little hater. I want to be like, oh, it's not like the comics. He doesn't even look like John Constantine from the comics. Constantine's supposed to be blonde and have a brown trench coat and blah, 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 blah. And damn it if I didn't actually kind of enjoy this movie. Now, don't get me wrong. I have my gripes here and there with the movie. I feel in certain places it puts a lot of style over substance, but it was honestly pretty good. Constantine needing to deal with one of the forces of hell trying to break free and basically make their way to Earth and everything that he needed to do in order to try to stop it, encountering psychics and friends who would help him out along the way. One of his friends ending up dying because of it. That is very Constantine. And Constantine being damned to hell and using that in order to bring Lucifer into the situation to help clear up the mess. Only you actually trying to off himself in order to get Lucifer to personally come and collect his soul. But because he killed himself for selfish reasons, Lucifer can't collect his soul, and Constantine is ascending to heaven, and Lucifer's just like, nah, none of that. Heals Constantine, cures him of his lung cancer, makes it so that Constantine just lives out the rest of his days on Earth, hoping he damns himself again or some shit. And to a certain degree, that I take a bit of issue with, but I kind of dug it. Honestly, Constantine is great if you don't know anything about Constantine. That's the thing. Because, if you do know anything about Constantine, it's just like making it be that Constantine's sin was that he committed suicide. Oh, I don't know how I feel about that. And having it be that the thing that is killing Constantine is his lung cancer, also don't know how I feel about that. The funny thing about Constantine has always been that he's always a hair's breadth away from literally being dragged to hell by any form of demon. But he manages to connive, swindle, and cheat his way out of actually going to hell and being damned any way possibly he can. And that's usually the fun of Constantine. Him tricking demons. Hell, him tricking angels. Him tricking good guys. Him tricking bad guys. There's always an angle with Constantine. And the one thing about the betrayal scene in this movie is that there's not really too much of an angle with this Constantine. Yeah, he's a chain-smoking badass with every kind of demon-killing weapon imaginable, but the thing about it is, I feel like they made Constantine too nice in this, which I feel like I shouldn't be saying. I feel like I really shouldn't be saying that. But honestly, they made him too nice. I liked him too much in this movie. Like, the fact that I didn't walk away from this being like, man, Constantine can kind of be a bit of an asshole. He kind of brought this upon himself. It's just like, Constantine, you kind of brought that upon yourself. Great. Way to go, Constantine. You got your friend killed. There's not really any of that in this movie. And that's why this is kind of Constantine almost in name only. And if I'm being honest, I'm kind of glad this version of Constantine never caught on in the public eye. Because, again, while it's not a bad portrayal, I just want to be selfish. Yeah, I'll just keep it 100%. I just want to be selfish. I don't want this version of Constantine to do that well and become the new norm for Constantine, because it's just like, I just really like the jerk that is the original Constantine. And let me be real, current Constantine in comics is a far departure from how he originally showed up. A lot of his grit has kind of been taken away, a lot of his selfishness, a lot of his self-serving nature. They have tried to make him a little bit more of a hero. Fuck, he's appeared in children's cartoons. Check out Justice League Action. But at the same time, they've brought Constantine into this mid-zone of douchiness and heroicness, where he just works for me. You can have him appear anywhere, and it's just like, okay, how's he going to swindle his way out of this? and that's usually the direction they go out of. And I like that. As long as they keep that, I will always be pleased with the portrayal of Constantine, and that ultimately is why I like the conclusion of the movie, because it's just like he managed to swindle his way out of having his soul taken by the devil. I'm like, dude, that's pretty badass. And I don't know, it was just an all around pretty good movie. Like, dang, how dare you? But the funny thing is, I don't hear a lot of people talk about this movie, which really caught me off guard, because it did well enough in the box office. I just don't really get it. This movie is never really brought up. I mean, it's brought up under like the list of good Keanu Reeves movies. That's about it. But anything beyond that, I don't know. And not to mention, it had a lot of people who went on to have pretty good careers to a certain extent. Shia LaBeouf, Tilda Swinton, Daimon Hansu as Papa Midnight. Yo, come on. Shoot, all you needed was Swamp Thing running up in this joint, and you would have had a pretty damn good movie. It's funny too because Constantine continues to get more and more attention in the public eye, whereas Swamp Thing keeps struggling to get that same attention, despite the fact that Constantine originally appeared in Swamp Thing's comics. It's kind of like how Wolverine started off as a Hulk villain, and then you wouldn't even be able to tell that by today's standards. Or even that Sabretooth was originally an Iron Fist villain. Where certain characters start are contrastly very different from where they end up when they're popular. And it seems like it wasn't for lack of trying, but honestly, the thing about Constantine is like, it's a very nebulous situation. Because let's be real, Supernatural really did kind of help pinpoint where the kind of genre that Constantine kind of fits in. Honestly, Constantine really helped to inspire Supernatural, basically. But they just never give it that kind of hard R that a Constantine movie really should have. Like, seriously, it's not bad to have these characters cross over and make them a little bit light because of that. But at the same time, like, when you have a character like this in their own series, and honestly, you should do that hard R, do it. Like, it's kind of what a lot of people complained about not having in Venom Let There Be Carnage. While a PG-13 Carnage is all well and good, and it's not like we've never had a G-rated Carnage before, if you have the chance for a hard R, go on, give people the hard R. Like, these comic books don't hold back when it comes to stuff like this. And to have these characters on the big screen and not really go full force balls to the wall with them always feels like a bit of a misstep in certain situations. But Constantine has that cult following, that deep love by people, and I can't blame them for it. You know, I can't blame them whatsoever for loving this movie because it did what should have been impossible, and that is just was a good movie. It just was a good movie. So tell me, did you watch? Did you watch Constantine? I'm sorry if I spoiled it for you, but I mean, it's over 15 years old. If you haven't seen it by now, what's wrong with you? Then again, there's plenty of movies I haven't seen, but if I'm spoiled on it after a certain point, it's just like, it was bound to happen. But seriously, if you haven't checked it out, check out Constantine. I hope you were interested in it, and if you have watched Constantine, are you a comic book fan or a fan of the Matt Ryan's portrayal, and do you prefer that portrayal? Because I know there were a lot of people who really wanted more Keanu Reeves Constantine, and that kind of detracted a little bit from Matt Ryan's Constantine, but he was just such a good Constantine that it just kind of, like it kind of coexisted in this nebulous area. So I'm interested, which portrayal of Constantine do you prefer the most? Matt Ryan or Keanu Reeves? Let me know in the comment section below. If you like this video, please like, comment, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for notifications. And until next time, I've been Duuz-Diz-Din, and I will see you later. Bye-bye.